And good Thursday morning, everyone. This is meteorologist Mike Montefusco with the National Weather Service office in Wakefield, Virginia. This is our daily impact weather briefing with a weekly briefing for the upcoming weekend into early next week. As you can see here, no major changes to the forecast. We'll go ahead and walk through the forecast for today through the upcoming weekend. With this briefing, take a look at our highlights. We are looking for isolated late day and evening showers and storms to be possible today and through the weekend. Still at a lower aerial coverage than what we've seen earlier this week, certainly. But other thing to take away is just continued seasonably very warm and humid across the region, ongoing through the early portions of next week. Those temperatures will kind of remain in the 90s over the next few days, with heat index values topping out right around 100 today and through the weekend. On the marine side of things, generally sub-small craft conditions maintain themselves through the week. A little bit gusty in the afternoons with the afternoon sea breeze near shore, but sub-small craft conditions should prevail. Taking a look at the weather pattern for the next several days, we are looking at a inland trough, Piedmont trough, that will be the impetus for some, or the focus for some scattered showers and storms later today. Those might move into the Piedmont and northwest of Richmond late this afternoon and more likely this evening. The other area of coverage that we'll be watching out for is northeast North Carolina, generally along 158 and down into eastern Carolinas for some scattered showers and storms down that way. Otherwise, for the lion's share of the area, very few and far between with showers today. A little bit more coverage tomorrow and on Saturday, as we'll talk about, but still really not a whole lot, certainly in reference to earlier this week where we had more widespread, heavier rainfall across the region. Getting into the later portions of the weekend into early next week, kind of wash, rinse, repeat type situation where showers get a little bit more widespread and then kind of drop back off again as you get into early next week. Taking a look at the severe weather outlook for the next few days, not really a whole lot in terms of strong storms. There will be obviously a lot of lightning with those storms that do develop. But for the most part, the severe storms that we are watching to develop will be north of the local area into northern Virginia and into the DMV type region. But more heavy rainfall would be the potential for any storms that do fire up. Take a look at the rain chances for today. And again, you're looking mainly northwest of Richmond and then across the northeast North Carolina coastal plain for today. And even at that, kind of isolated coverage. So not a whole lot today. Tomorrow, a little bit more coverage north of Richmond, northeast of Richmond. So the northern neck, north of Richmond over to the eastern shore, could get into some isolated to widely scattered storms later tomorrow into the evening tomorrow night. But for the most part, most of the area does remain dry. And then on Saturday, once again, widely scattered storms at most is what we're expecting over the northern half of the area. Again, not everybody's going to get in on these, but any storm that does pop up will have the potential to produce a good amount of rainfall with the warm, humid air mass we have over us. Take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast over the next week or so. Through the early portion of the weekend, you can see generally a tenth or so on average. So certainly locally heavier rainfall is possible with any heavier thunderstorm. And then better chances early next week from Sunday into the early portion of next week, mainly over the northern neck and eastern shore. The building heat will be another thing to be watching for as we get into the next couple of days here. We are going to be getting a little bit more sunshine, and we are staying in a very warm, humid air mass, so that muggy feel will be sticking around for a while in keeping with the month of August. So we are looking for heat index values getting right up around 100 degrees over a good portion of the area. We could be close to heat advisory criteria as we get into Friday afternoon and evening, and then through the weekend. Simply across Hampton roads, but as we get farther out, Sunday, Monday, more area-wide as well. Again, no widespread 105 plus, but certainly getting around and close to those values as you get into Friday through the weekend. So again, staying warm, staying humid, in keeping with what we would expect for early August. break those out by day here. And again, staying in the 90s for the most part, those heat index values generally in the lower 100s to right around 100 and 103, 105. So again, we'll be kind of flirting with that criteria across Hampton Roads over the weekend. So, certainly take it easy, do the usual precautions for your heat over the next couple of days because it will be ramping right back up. Breaking out the daily max temperature and heat index here, you can kind of see, as we just said, just kind of staying warm and humid next couple of days, kind of peaking out Monday, Tuesday of next week is kind of be the hottest of that period. And again, Monday, Tuesday, we are in range where we might see some heat headlines potentially being needed early next week. So, again, by no means are we done with summer. So just got to be on the lookout for that and keep those heat precautions well in mind. Kind of continuing with the regional forecast, you can kind of see our rain chances kind of hit or miss through the next few days. Very much scattered in coverage, isolated to scattered in coverage. So not everybody's going to be getting in on these in light of the recent rains. Certainly not, may not be a bad thing, but certainly we're drying out. We are going to remain humid and quite warm. So we are going to continue that theme on into the weekend and into early next week. Rip current forecast is moderate for our northern beaches, for the eastern shore beaches over to the around Chincoteague, Assateague areas for today. Low rip risk for southern beaches, so from the ocean front of Virginia Beach down to the northern Outer Banks, so low rip risk for the next couple of days. That rip risk is going to continue in the moderate range for the eastern shore beaches as we get into tomorrow and Saturday. So just kind of keep that in mind for those heading out toward the short points. In terms of the forecast for the next week and into next weekend, staying in that warm category, warm and humid type setup with above normal temperature precipitation as well. So above normal temperatures and precipitation are favored in this pattern from late next week into early next weekend as it looks right now. So kind of more of the same as we go through the next couple of days into early next week. On the marine side of things, generally going to be remain small, sub-small craft throughout this whole period. Generally, once again, getting gusty in the afternoons and early evenings with that sea breeze near shore, getting into the 25 plus knot gusts on Saturday and Saturday evening, but certainly near shore and in the near shore coastal zones, no real threat of any small craft appearing on the horizon at this time. But just kind of remaining some small craft getting gusty in the afternoons and early evenings, so just be on the lookout for that. Breaking out the rivers and bay, you can kind of see remaining out of the southwest through this whole period. This warm regime will continue in terms of getting that warm, humid air pumped in here. Going to remain gusty in the afternoons and early evenings with our sea breeze, and then that gustiness could continue into the early overnight hours as well. With respect to the coastal waters, kind of the same thing. Again, perhaps a brief period of some small craft might be needed in the nearshore coastal waters on Saturday, but it'd be real marginal. By and large, it will be some small craft throughout this period and into early next week. Tropical weather, there really aren't any areas of concern that we are keeping an eye on at this point. We are obviously going to continue to monitor, but nothing of concern at this time. That is our briefing for today, this August 6th, 2026. We will be here with another briefing as we get into Monday for early next week. In the meantime, we'll be posting our briefings as normal throughout the weekend online. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us a line at these contact points here, and have a great weekend. We will see you early next week.